Lean with it, rock.
Yeah,
with
I
it.
knew you were
With
going to
it,
have a
rock
rap.
with
I
it.
don't know it.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the Tug of More.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, y'all.
So glad you're here.
That's right.
Just a conversation between two friends about where we are and then where we want to be.
That's right.
That tension, that tug, that pull of
That's the
you
tug
can
of more.
always be doing better. You can always be advancing.
That's right.
And sometimes it makes you a little crazy. And
So
so if you're new,
right.
here's what we are. We're two
Yes.
friends. We work at church together.
That's right.
We're pastors at a local church here in Arlington, Texas called More Church.
More church. You're advertising for us today.
I'm repping the t-shirt. When they made this sweatshirt, they got a t-shirt sample, but they were testing the fonts. And so on the t-shirt, it had the word more 3 times. More, more, more. And I was like, I love it.
And they were like, that's not really cool.
That's not cool at all. But they gave me that sample shirt.
Now he
and so
has
now
it.
I have a red t-shirt.
That he
with-
can wear.
And they get embarrassed that I'm wearing it around. I'm like, hey, I'm going to rep the brand.
I'm doing it. No, well.
Okay, so we're pastors, so that's our
right.
context. We talk about all kind of stuff. We
Yep,
talk about
leadership ideas, Jesus-y ideas, discipleship-y ideas.
crying.
Yep, crying,
laughing.
crying, laughing, talking.
Yeah.
And today, speaking of fashion, I am a little disappointed because you're not wearing what you
Oof.
should be wearing because
Today-
today is actually
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, March 17th.
I'm not Irish.
No.
Don't kiss me. Unless her name's Rachel.
The lady at the restaurant we ate lunch at, she said that she wears green, but only like on her name tag or something. And she said, and then I let them pinch me, and then afterward I showed them, oh, I'm wearing green, and so I get to pinch them. And I was like, okay.
She was a real touchy waitress.
Yeah,
you know
she
those
was.
waitresses
She's
that they
great,
just got their
great
hands all
waitress,
over your back
but
while you're
she's
talking
very,
to you?
Yeah, she's very sweetheart like that.
Tanisha?
Tanisha, yeah, she was nice.
Shout out Tanisha.
Good job. She was helping open a new restaurant in the area, so
That's right. They did pretty good.
yeah, that wasn't bad at all, I think. So today we're having conversations. What else is happening? Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, but it's also spring break.
Spring break, my kids are on spring break.
Yep.
And so they're hanging out with Rach right now. They just went, we had a youth event over at Alley Cats,
Yep.
which is like bowling, video games,
Main
putt-putt,
event-y idea.
that
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
Fun. I saw your daughter climb the top of the rock wall.
Lillian's a climber. She can climb anything.
She is adventurous,
Yeah, she is. She's ready to rock.
which I love. That's fun.
She's not scared.
I told him I'm sad because I wish that I had kids in school because then I would have been thinking about it and been like, we have to do something. But now I'm just here working every day, so.
But instead, you don't have kids in school and can do whatever you want every day of your life.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You no longer have bedtimes or school bells ringing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I miss spring break though. I liked that like break. Like I remember as a kid, feeling of spring break. It felt like summer's almost here, but it's not quite. But we get a taste of it. I just remember loving spring break as a kid. Do you remember? No, you don't care.
I feel like, sorry, mom and dad, but they probably had like a project in the yard
Oh, so
over
you
spring
probably
break.
hated spring
They were like, get to work. There's a new wheelbarrow in the back.
You're like, nope. Yeah, okay. You're like, can I go back to school now? Yeah, okay, that's funny. What else?
Okay, I had something amazing to me happen
Okay.
this week.
Yes.
I, on Thursday is predominantly my like finish the message day.
Uh-huh.
Like I've already worked on it, I've got the framework done, but Thursday is the like round it out.
Yes.
Nail it. And so I went to a coffee shop that I've only ever been to once years ago. That's
Okay.
next to a barbecue spot that I like in
Yeah.
Fort Worth. Shout out Panther City Barbecue. And so I went to this place next door to work on my message. And I'm planning on doing a 4-hour pull there. I'm
Okay.
planning on sitting down, working for a decent amount of time to get
Mm-hmm.
it finished. And I walk in and the place is packed. Like every chair of this coffee shop is full. Not just every table, every chair. And you
Yeah.
can tell that there's people at tables with each other. They don't know each other,
Yeah.
but they're just there working.
Getting junk done.
And so I'm like, man, I'm already here. My barbecue spot's next door. It's not even open yet. The barbecue doesn't open
Okay.
till 11. And so I'm like, I look around and there's one chair that opens up.
Yes.
And it's across from this cool looking black guy.
Okay.
And so I look at him and he's got on a hat that says Holy Spirit.
Okay.
He's got his Bible out on the counter and he has a t-shirt on that is Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, like 80s vibes, vintage WWF.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is my guy.
There's your guy.
Big gold chain. This is my guy. And so I walk up and I'm like, hey, brother, man, do you mind if I sit down? I've just got some work. He goes, no. Sit down. So I sit down and we just start chatting just real briefly.
Yeah.
Get my laptop out, start working on my message. I pull my Bible out and he goes, okay, or something like that. And so we're joking about his t-shirt. And it ends up that he's a pastor. Mm-hmm. And me and this dude had a 3.5 hour divine directed from God conversation.
Yeah.
That was incredible. It was super healing to me. It was super great. And I don't need to get into all of it, but it super interrupted my plan to
Yes.
finish my message.
Yes.
But it was worth it because I feel like this last Sunday was in my top 10 for how I felt about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
In my top 10 sermons, even though my giant block of time got greatly disrupted.
Right.
But that's how good God is.
Yeah. Allow for the interruptions.
Allow for the interruptions.
Yeah.
Allow for the conversation to happen. Because while we're talking, there's a part of me that's like, I don't have time to be
Talking about
talking about this right now. But
Yeah.
what he and I talked about, which I haven't even filled
I
you
know.
in
I
on
was
yet,
gonna say, yeah.
it's going to be the thing I'm chewing on for the next 6 months.
That's good. Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to not be so busy.
Yeah.
We had a mentor tell us that busy is the new stupid.
Right. Right.
And and like
Yep.
if every time someone asks, how are you doing? Your answer is busy. That's the new stupid.
Well,
and so
and if you're rigid to your schedule, rigid to your like plan, then you miss like life is happening all around you.
Yeah.
And like you and I talk about it sometimes that like we just have these certain places we go, and this certain schedule we live, and if we only ever live in that, then we're just kind of living Groundhog Day, and we miss literally life happening everywhere. And so maybe that's why I like spring break so much, because it broke up the
Yeah.
schedule of my normal life. And
Yeah.
so yeah, good. Don't miss out on the interruptions because of your scheduled busyness. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
and who knows, there might just be the most random person that you meet
Yeah.
that like literally speaks life-changing healing
Yeah.
into you
Yeah.
that you don't even expect. This dude was the most random dude in the whole
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
But yet he was used by God to speak some stuff to
It's
me.
good. Super good.
All right, what else? That was kind of serious. We usually
Yeah,
start with a
I
bunch
was
of
like,
goofiness.
that's not light. That's
we
intense.
start
but
with
that's okay.
all the goofiness.
That's good. I don't know if we have any more. I'm trying to think if we have any more light.
We had a house party not too long ago. I don't know if we've talked. Have we talked here since we had our house
Yeah,
party?
we did. Yeah, we talked about it.
I'm
So
still
good.
amazed at the testimonies
Yes.
of what God was doing.
Yeah, really good.
Lillian went to a birthday party
Okay.
with her friend the other day, and she got there early to help make cakes, and so she's making cakes. And I guess when you make cake, you have to trim the cake to make it a right shape before you ice it.
Okay.
And so Lillian came home with a giant bag full of cake trimmings, which she then decided to make cake balls out of.
Okay.
And the number of cake balls that I've eaten in the last 3 days is embarrassing. Because I bet Lillian made 50 cake balls.
Yeah.
And they're just like on the counter in the fridge. So every time I walk by, I'm just
really
grabbing
funny.
a chocolate
That's
dipped
really
cake ball,
funny.
and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself?
Because it's
Stop
there.
eating cake balls.
But some of y'all guys, I don't know if it's a girl guy thing or what it is. Maybe it's just a sweets thing for some people. Because I can eat like, yeah, what would I eat? If there was like,
Well, you're a donut monster.
now donuts are
You're a
my
donut
weakness
monster.
of sweets. That is true. But like I can only eat so much of it. But salty things, like I could eat a whole like throughout a day. If you opened up a great bag of chips that I love, I might graze that all day long and eat the whole bag of chips. But the cookie, the sweet part, I can't do as much. But yeah, some of y'all, and by y'all I just mean me or you and my husband, those two men that I know. I'm like, how is the whole thing of Girl Scout cookies? I like
Dude.
did not buy Girl Scout cookies this whole
Yeah,
season.
I have to avoid 'em.
Aaron kept saying, "Do not bring them home. Do not bring them home." And there was these cute little girls outside the store that I was at, and I just had to buy them. And I bought 3 boxes. They're all gone. And I literally have eaten 2 cookies out of, and I'm like, where did they go? And he's like, this is why you can't buy them, because if they're here, I will eat them.
Here's the question.
What is the question?
What kind of cookies did you buy from the Girl Scouts?
Samoas,
Okay.
and then the peanut butter chocolate dippy,
Yep. I don't remember what they're called. Peanut butter ones.
and then these new ones. Now,
Nope.
these are the ones he was not as excited about, and there may still be a few left at my house of this box. It was called like, I don't know, s'mores or something. It's not s'mores, but it's like that. But it's something that they're like Rocky Road s'moresy.
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
He did not.
But
He
you didn't
said-
buy Grasshopper?
I don't know what that is.
The mint chocolate ones, the little thin ones,
Oh,
those are my jam. I like mint chocolate
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I know this by you. I did not buy those.
I'm buying the
No.
peanut butters and I'm buying the
The mint.
The mint
Samoas are
grasshoppers.
my. That's
But
where I got offended.
that's the coconut
because-
one?
Yes, they're
Yeah,
so
those are
good.
good.
The like circle, and I think they're called something else now. They used to be called Samoas.
Yeah,
and
it's
then-
kind of racial appropriation, right? To call them Samoas.
Oh, is that probably why?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably. No, you're probably right.
Melee,
They're
how do you
called
feel?
like coconut rounds now or something, and I'm like,
we
yeah,
had someone.
Melee's not.
We had someone think that melee was Filipino this week.
Yeah, and she said that's not the same, but also that's fine if that's what you think. But Melee is Hawaiian. That is what she is.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, Girl Scout cookies. Don't buy. The lemonades are also good.
Nope, I'm out on that.
You are?
I mean, I'll like lemon stuff if it's like a lemon bar.
Yeah. No, that's great. But yeah, I don't know. But I can just eat one and I'm so happy and that's all I need. And so I'm like, how is the whole box gone in the week? How is 3 boxes gone in a week? I don't understand.
Yeah, I won't. I mean, I'll get down on salty stuff, but salty stuff is more like a meal.
Yeah.
But sweet stuff, I could just, dude, I could eat 30
It just
cookies in a day.
disappears?
Yeah, I could just eat so many cookies.
Really?
It's unbelievable.
I kind of wish I could sometimes because I want to. Like, I'll get a big piece of cake and I'm like, yes. And then I can't do it.
Okay,
But
before we get into it, last episode, I feel like we said that we had some Tomming Around Town.
We
Or
did.
we had somebody that we needed to announce for something.
We did it last time.
Who was it?
Alyssa, she just had her baby.
Can we show a picture of the baby?
Yeah, now we can.
There's a little cute baby. Look at that little baby.
So cute. She's adorable. So, but
Good job, Jordan.
we're about to have.
Nailed it, bro.
We named it today, and we're about to have 6 babies in
We
the
named.
church.
Oh, I thought we named
No!
the wheat baby.
We
What
were
will
like
name?
naming out loud who all's having, and we're about to have 6 new babies in like a month in the church. We already had like 3 or 4 other ones. About to have 6 more in the next like month or 2. It's crazy.
Dude, what are y'all doing out
churches
there?
Growing by, they're just being biblically literate and they're being
Multi-
fruitful and multiplying.
Getting some arrows in their quiver.
Do you know what I read? Somebody the other day I saw a clip on one of these things like this, and they were saying
It's called a podcast.
yes, but they were doing a clip of like a podcast, and they were saying if you don't have more than 2 kids, then you're unbiblical because you didn't multiply.
Yeah.
You just duplicated.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, then we both failed. But that's whatever.
But isn't there a little part of you, a little part that wishes you would have had 6 kids?
Yes, 100%.
Me too.
All the time. I think. Dang it, we should have at least had 3.
You know
or
why
4.
she thinks that?
Why?
Because East and McKinley, they're just not enough.
No, that's not true.
Just
No,
kidding.
I think it's 1. They were so great. I wish I had more of them. But then 2.
I think to when I'm 65 years old,
Yeah.
how fun it would be to have
a
30
giant family.
grandchildren.
But do you know how hard it would have been and financially taxing
Yes.
it cost to raise 6 kids?
And I think that in Bible days, they were having more kids because then you had free labor.
You're right.
Like, the only thing you had to pay for back then was
Yeah.
food for
Yeah.
your kid.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, like,
They got to make 4 wheelbarrows on spring break.
yeah, there were no Legos to buy. There was
Right.
not, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
You
and
had
you
like,
got like 1 outfit.
yeah, you like carved a little soldier out of
All
a
you had
piece
to
of
do
stick.
was get 5 more outfits. So yeah, I guess that's it. You're
I
right.
feel like it was a different, like,
Definitely a different world
provision.
than the world that we are spoiledly living in right
they
now.
didn't have to go and buy a Sprinter van if they had 4
Right.
kids. It was just a
It's
different
they just get in the wagon, just get in there.
load up.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Okay.
Now,
what
if
are
you're
we
in
talk-
Mexico, you just throw them in the bed of the truck.
we tried. Oh,
Shout out
some of
Andrew.
Some of the young
And
adults.
Rachel.
Some of the young adults went to. Oh, I wasn't pointing at Andrew because he was from Mexico.
Oh, I thought you were pointing
That's
at
not
Andrew. I
why
was
I'm
like,
pointing at him.
geez.
No, because Sunday night, some of the young adults went to Upper Room in Dallas, and they met at our house, and they were trying to figure out what car to take. And so, of course, McKinley wanted to take my car that has all the seats for all the people. And then Andrew was like, "It's fine, I can drive." And I was like, "Yeah, just throw everybody in the back of your pickup truck and go down 635. It'll be perfect." Nobody. That's not. But when I was a kid, I rode in the back of pickup trucks,
I
not
didn't.
on
Not-
635.
Yeah.
But down the road to Brahms.
Yeah, I did. Oh, around town we
Yeah,
would, but
like
not.
in town, it was not. Yeah,
But I feel like now you're straight going to jail.
oh, 1,000%. You're not allowed to do that anymore. But
All right.
Okay, what are we talking about? for
Whitney
real?
has a conversation.
Oh, I have a conversation.
What do you think the percentages are that I have a conversation versus you have a conversation? Like, idea.
It's about the same as the percentages of where we're gonna go to lunch. No, I'm saying.
What is-
I'm
okay,
genuine-
what is-
No, I mean it. Like I'm genuinely like I don't know. What do you think? And then whatever you think, I'm like I love that. Let's do it.
Tristan
Like,
always has 3 plans.
yeah, you have.
When he'll
always
say, well, where
choices.
do you want to go? And then I list 3 places I want to go.
And then he's like, you have to choose. He makes me choose because I genuinely don't care. But the same it's this. You usually have ideas, or you'll have like iterations of ideas and say, which one do you think? But this time I was just like, you know what?
You got one. She's had one simmering.
I've been thinking about
Hit
it,
us.
and I've been talking about it with some people in different areas of my life. It's just the like, you can survive rocking the boat. I think that the world we live in now, especially since like, I don't know, social media, COVID, 2020, we're all afraid to have, not we're, but the world is all afraid to have conversations because they're afraid to rock the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish more people understood that you can actually survive and thrive if you'll rock the boat. I think everybody is afraid to rock the boat because they would just like to manage what they currently have, and they don't know what's going to happen if they rock the boat and it tips over. But like, golly.
Now talk about the
so
boats
much.
that you're talking about.
Okay.
Because it's not just throw chaos into the system for chaos.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
just like
right.
go to work and start causing problems, rock the boat.
But if there's tension at work, maybe there's a cultural issue that is like really bringing the team down. Maybe there's negativity that's thriving. Maybe there's just like a bad attitude or a sarcastic tone that happens. And instead of like actually like, hey, can we talk about this? This is unhealthy. It's not working. It's not, you're just like tiptoeing around it and like managing it and like, ha 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 ha. And like, or trying to be, I know for me in old seasons of my life, I would try to be the like, look over here, like so that people didn't see what was happening rather than just addressing the issue. Maybe in your marriage that you have like a giant thing that is like attention that you're like dancing around all the time because you're just scared to bring it up. Maybe it's just like something that your spouse is saying that hurts your feelings, or some like just way that you are consistently having a conversation, argument, a situation that you're just not dealing with. It's like, you're so scared to rock the boat, but what if you rocked it? You can still survive it. And I think like in friendship, there's all kind of opportunities for like a rock to be in your shoe and to not want to talk about it because you're afraid that it will cause a problem. You're afraid it will end the friendship, a conversation. I don't know. And there's a hundred boats that could need to be rocked. But I think it's just like recognizing we all like know, oh yeah, there's that thing I need to deal with, and we just don't want to. Mm-hmm. And we're terrified to flip the boat over and say, hey, let's just talk about it. I don't know.
You got to be willing to rock the boat. What are some other, don't keep walking on eggshells.
Yes.
You've got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
There are all these,
Identify the elephant in the room.
yeah, there are all these sayings that we have in our world because it's so easy to live your life like, keep the boat still, keep the boat still, keep the boat still. But that's not very fun.
Well,
and
you're giving so much energy managing keeping the boat still. Think it's so afraid to like actually rock it that it's like it actually might be more peaceful in your life if you cause a little chaos for a minute.
Yeah.
If you actually handle conflict, if
or
you
talk about
actually
it.
Talk about it.
Just talk about it.
Yeah.
If there's something going on in your marriage that is a constant rock in your shoe, you both know that it's there.
Yeah.
You both know that like, ooh, anytime we bring up X, we all get a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it's just time to plan a fight,
Plan a conversation.
plan a conversation about that idea, and like give the boat a good shaking so that it's not you dance around on eggshells anymore.
Yeah. And I think just like allowing for some space to like, is this somebody that you trust, love, or maybe if it's somebody at work, maybe you don't necessarily love them, but you like have enough consistency with them to like, I'm going to keep working with you. We're going to keep being in this relationship. Like have enough like space allowance to go, you know what? Maybe if I go into this, it's actually going to work out well and work out better and stop being so afraid of like what will happen on the other side. I think that you and I both grew up in homes that, at the end of the day, we knew where everybody was going to be. We knew that like our parents were going to be
Right.
at home at night. We knew that we were going to be safe, consistent. Like those are the homes as kids that we grew up in. And so I wonder sometimes if because the world we live in is not really full of that same story over and over again.
Well,
What?
that's true. And we grew up in homes. We're not related. I grew up in Michigan. She grew up in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And we're not married. We're married to other people.
Correct.
If you're new. But my mom and dad would have passionate discussions
Right, 100%.
about things they disagreed about, but they always would say, hey, Tristan, we love each other. We're never going to get divorced.
Yeah.
And so when you're saying they were at home every night,
Right.
there was like, my home was allowed to have explosive conversation,
Right.
but yet commitment that was unshaken.
Yeah.
Same with your family.
Yeah.
But I think that for a lot of people, if there's a conversation, it led to
Right.
a split or a divorce or a broken relationship. And so it creates all this trepidation. So it's like, it's just better. Just don't deal with it. But I'm like, but if you've healed beyond the house you grew up in,
Correct.
if you've healed beyond the house you grew up in, then you have to not operate with the same training wheels that you used to operate with. It's time to unbolt the training wheels and rock the boat a little bit if there's something not going well.
Well, and I think we were talking about it at our house the other day that like Aaron and I came from very different dynamics of homes. And so, yes, mine was more chaotic, explosive, but then everybody comes together at the end of the day. Aaron's was more non-communicative, almost avoidant sometimes, elephants in the room that like didn't get talked about. And so as we came together in marriage, we both brought those things into our relationship. And for lots of seasons of our life, that's how we both operated. His was more avoidant, afraid to bring things up, afraid to talk about things. Mine was more explosive in the way I brought everything up. And what we found was, you know what, at the end of the day, even though we both walked through those broken pieces and broken ways, we still survived it because we were committed to each other and we were committed to get better and to grow. And so then through counseling, through work, through Jesus, through healing, like we got to the space where now we can have healthy conflict, healthy dialogue and get through and get to the other side of it. And then what we've realized now, as our kids are not in spring break anymore, they're now grown, our kids actually live through all three different scenarios. Mm-hmm. And what they've learned is that you can survive any of it. And so what I'm proud of watching now and trying to help them even see with some of the people in their lives and friends and relationships is like, not everybody experienced that, but what a gift that you did. So now what we get to go do is show the rest of the world, hey, we can survive any of this. We can survive. I did not talk about my feelings for a long time, or I said every thought and every feeling I ever had out loud that caused all the damage, and we can still survive it. And we can get to a safe place to where we can now healthily do it and survive all of that. And so there's freedom in recognizing you can break things and still be able to fix it. And I think what you said, I know our staff team, we were having a conversation a couple weeks ago in Devo, and one of our guys said for a long time with his wife, he wouldn't bring things up because all he ever saw was what you just said, his parents fight and then them not be there anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, we can all heal beyond that and not take that into every conversation and every situation and be afraid, but instead recognize I'm going with the right heart, the right posture, the right mindset, the right humility. And if I'm going in with that, then we'll survive it, even if it doesn't come out right. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yes.
Like, as I put myself in everybody who's listening's shoes,
right,
especially in the context of marriage, like, sometimes there's so many things attached to an idea
absolutely,
that it feels overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Because, like, if I bring up how you don't put the milk away after you pour a glass. Mm-hmm. If I bring that up, it's attached to so many other like pieces and dynamics of what you don't do and then what I don't do right. And I feel like people are afraid that, like one card in the house of cards, it's like Jenga.
Right.
If I pull the wrong block, the whole thing is going to tip over. And so it's easy for us to say, like, just pull the Jenga block out. But you've got to be, the person bringing it up and the hearer have to be in a healthy place. Because for Rachel and I grew up in a house that was high logic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My mom and dad debated things, high logic. Rachel grew up in a house that was dominating, and fear-centered. Mm-hmm. And so for me, when I came to her with my logic, she thought it was domineering, attacking, which caused fear.
Yeah.
And so, like, it took us a long time to understand both of our defaults. That, like, I have to calm the junk down in how
and
I'm
how
saying.
I present it.
I'm not in a debate. We're on the same team. Don't be like, even right now, I'm being intense.
Yeah.
Being in an argument with me is not an easy thing to do
Correct.
because I'm intense. But I'm not mad.
How
I'm
many
just,
times do you and I be having a discussion and one or the other one has to say to the other one out loud, we're not arguing while we're talking.
yeah, hey, I'm not mad at you.
I'm not arguing. I'm not.
But it's because we grew up in intense. Whereas
Right.
for Rach,
Right.
anytime I was trying to prove a point
Right.
in my like debate centered brain,
Yeah.
which is what makes me a good preacher, I think.
Right. For sure.
A piece of it, she would think I'm just being controlled.
Right.
He's trying to control me. He thinks less of me. I'm
He's
just
yelling at me.
He's yelling at me. When,
Right.
when that's not. I'm
Right.
like, I'll show you yelling. Right? It's a good.
This is yelling.
Men, anytime you say I'm not yelling, you need to calm the junk down. I'm just telling you. And so it's hard.
It is. Which is
Because
why I think-
sometimes it's so complex. But listen, if you don't start rocking the boat, you're never going to make
Yeah.
progress.
Well, I think it's such a great next step of conversation. So how do we rock it? How do we approach it? If we're going to start, and like what you just said is like the right first step is like the self-awareness of how I'm presenting the conversation. Because like there's a difference between walking into a staff meeting or a conversation with some colleagues and be like, hey guys, we got to talk about what's going on around here. Or, hey guys, could we talk for a minute about something I've noticed that's happening?
So
There's just a difference in how. And so I think for some people who've never really wanted to rock the boat, how do you even start? Feels
okay, so are we going to take the conversation? We're not
don't
just going to
know.
only do marriage. We have to do
no, right.
all
of
the pieces.
it. All of it.
I think, okay, so rock the boat in any context. Don't do it in real storm time.
Right. In the moment of the tension, in the moment of the disagreement. Right.
Don't do it. You've got to wait until things are much like calmer.
Yeah.
Because like if one person has already bent out of shape or yelling or shut down,
No.
now is not the time to like lump on.
Correct.
And so we say it here all the time about scheduling fights,
Yeah.
but it's been the healthiest thing for Rachel and I. We just had our anniversary, 19 years,
Mm-hmm. amazing.
19-year anniversary. We went to a bed and breakfast per our friend's suggestion,
Yes.
which we haven't talked about. Going to a bed and breakfast is just like staying at an old lady's house.
Yeah.
But so that's
And
what
she makes you breakfast.
And she makes you breakfast and then talks to you the whole time. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, lady. Which Rachel's so nice.
Yeah.
Rachel will talk to people she doesn't know and actually care. I just
Yeah.
think the whole time, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care
That's
about
the
you at
one
all.
negative of a bed and breakfast to me because I'm same as you. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you.
It's because Aaron and Rachel are better
But
people.
Aaron will talk to him forever and find out where
And
it came
care.
from and how it was good and all the things. And I'm like, oh, you're so nice. Okay.
Anyways, we're on our anniversary and we go to a nice restaurant
Yeah.
and we're having dinner. And I knew I was going to bring, it was not conflict at Rachel.
Right.
It was about like
Conflict of life.
conflict of life. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We have a couple decisions we need to make.
Yeah.
And like right now is a good time for us to talk about that. And it got a little bit more intense is the wrong word. It got a little bit more deeper than I anticipated, but it was so good.
Yeah.
Because she had been chewing on a bunch of feelings and I'd been chewing on a bunch of
Yeah.
feelings that we both don't know what to do. But because we talked about it at a dinner, instead of just like at our house at 11:30 at night after we're
Correct.
both exhausted, bro, we made so much progress. We prayed about it at the end, and it was like this was the best
Right.
non-fight fight that we could have ever
Yeah.
had. But we're 10 years into doing that.
Right. I was going to say it took me a lot of years of my life to recognize because, again, explosive, like intense, dramatic is my default. It took me a lot of years to realize. I've said it before. The whole "don't let the sun go down on your anger." It's like no. That doesn't mean hash the fight out all the way.
Yeah.
While you,
At 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m. It means like solve the problem eventually. Don't let it die and still be angry. And so like yeah, finding the right space and the right moment, the right environment.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the other, like, if you're only ever fighting in your bedroom,
You're not
Then
having
you're-
any sex in there either.
no, right, then you're not doing anything fun there. You're only going to fight there. Like, you have to go, what you said is great, to a neutral space, in a neutral moment to bring up the
In a
conversation.
non-interruptible time.
Yeah.
Like one of the
gosh.
reasons it was so good is because there's no kids coming and
Right.
asking a question, and so we can have long-form dialogue together.
Absolutely.
just before literally right before we came in here, I said, hey, Whit, I got two things. And I told her two things that happened on Sunday
Yeah.
that are not a big deal, but
Right.
were like a rock in my shoe. Like some things that we need to work on. Now, what I used to would have done is before worship second service
Right.
one night,
Yeah.
hey, Whit, this happened, so-and-so didn't do this. Hey, we got to deal with that this week. You know what that does?
Yeah.
It distracts her from worship,
Right.
and it puts the words coming out, put gas on what I'm already feeling. Because the
Right.
two things I share with
They're
you are
not
not,
even-
they're not emotional.
No, and they're not even hard to solve.
But what I used to would have done,
Right.
because I have a problem that I'm too willing to rock the boat sometimes.
Sure. Okay.
And so
Unnecessarily.
unnecessarily, or in the wrong opportune time.
Yeah.
And so learn from that. Don't do is sometimes you have to be like, now's not the time.
Right. Right.
I have a memory. I have a notes app in my phone.
Right.
Write these things down.
Right.
Deal with them
Yeah.
when you need. So the opportune time is a
Yeah.
big piece.
Yeah.
What
No, I
else?
think it's and then the posture. What you're saying is the self-awareness of your posture. I think, or the humility of what you're saying. You're humble enough to know I'm intense. I'm now wasn't earlier in my life humble enough to recognize I will come across.
I carry an
too
aura
strong.
of intensity.
Yes.
No matter how hard I try.
Yeah, and I'm passionate with my words, and so if I don't tone this down, and if I don't come from a place and a posture of humility first, you and I talk with our team all the time, like when they're in conflict, love sandwich. I love you. I believe in you. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Here's some things I want to talk to you about. Da, 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 da. I also love you. Believe you can change.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you can do it. Like, I've had to learn the posture of myself in bringing conflict because I want to solve the problem so quickly. Even like the things you brought to me earlier, in my old self, I would have already been like,
Send
oh,
a
let me go
text.
handle it. Let me go talk to him. Let me do it.
Right.
Blah, blah, and like ran. No, it's not that deep. Like, I'll get to it and it will be handled and we will come up with a solution and we will solve the problem. But I had to learn to and if I address it like that, they're going to freak out and think that, oh my
I'm mad.
gosh, I'm mad. He's mad. We're all mad. Oh my God. No one's mad. We just need to solve this. And so I think go ahead.
Don't view it as rocking the boat. View it as steering the ship.
Yeah.
Like sometimes these conversations you need to have with a coworker or a kid or a spouse is you've just got to be willing to grab the rudder and steer the ship.
Right.
And not view steering as sinking.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And recognize that
Or-
if you don't steer, you're going to crash. Like, I think that's the part.
Dude, we're preaching now.
No, it's so important that if you are unwilling to steer because you're so afraid to make a little waves, then you're gonna run into a freaking rock and sink. So
Yeah.
I think that's what you and I. So the reason why we're so passionately intense sometimes is because we recognize there's rocks right there.
There's rocks.
And so we're not going to run. So I'd rather rock the boat and tip it over than run into the rocks. Whereas some people are so afraid to run it over.
Which, you know what a lot of discipleship is?
100%.
Like we just had a conversation with a couple here
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Yeah.
And all we did was help steer their
Yeah.
choices.
Right.
Like, hey, this is coming and this is up there and
Yeah.
have you thought about this? And that conversation felt very rock the boaty.
Yeah.
It felt like Trust and Whitney are trying to tip their. No. We're not trying to tip your boat.
Yeah.
We're just like, hey, dude, rudder. Just
Well,
lean in
and
a little.
illuminating the rocks that are in the way, I think.
From wisdom. I've been down this road.
I've been here.
I've
seen
crashed on this rock.
Right. Yep. And I don't want you to have to. And so if we can come exactly in that conversation, though, the reason it was so good is because we came from a place of, hey, we love you. We're not mad at you. We just want to help. And I think that is such in our marriage, in marriages, in my marriage, there's been times where it's like, hey, can I talk to you about something? And the approach of how I'm coming and not pointing at you, but here's how I am perceiving, here's how I'm feeling, allows for the conversation to start at a lower level of intensity.
Yeah.
It may get intense at some point, and that's okay. But if I will start there, then I've kind of laid the groundwork and the playing field for where and how I hope this goes. And that wisdom took me a long time to understand of how I present, how I start it, how I bring it up is going to kind of be the baseline. And so
Yes.
if I bring it up here, that's the baseline of where we're at.
Yeah.
If I can bring it up down here in a place of like a posture of like humility for real, then he's going to hear my heart. He's going to hear where I'm coming from. He's going to be more open and willing to receive it than if I'm coming from up here. He's already got his dukes up ready to fight me back.
Yeah.
And I think that's such an important piece of how we rock the boat. Go.
There's so much to it, but you know, before you go into a conflict conversation or a rock the boaty piece, you should have jotted some ideas down.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, if you're new to
Especially if you're new to it,
stepping into
right.
conflict, or you're nervous about it, you should write down, because what can happen sometimes is you can get, if the person you're talking to immediately gets defensive,
Mm-hmm.
then you now feel like you're in a fight.
Right.
But if you can write out your like bullet points of what you're
Mm-hmm.
going to try to bring to the table. Oh, this I got a little overwhelmed because I forgot about saying this. You said you were talking earlier about how you can survive any conversation, right?
Yeah.
Before you go into you're gonna have to help me say this better. Before you go into the conflict, you have to put a honest balance on the worst case scenario. I'm not saying it well.
Okay.
But like
Yes.
when we're telling you as your friends and your pastors, you can survive the conversation.
Right.
Your marriage can survive it.
Yep.
You and your kids can survive it. If you're prayed up, you do it humbly, you come in with a plan, you do it at the opportune time. Those are some really important bullet points.
Right.
You can survive the conversation, but you have to, what am I trying to say? You have to like
Yeah.
honestly evaluate, my wife's not going to divorce me over this.
Right.
This is not the last time we get to talk about
Manager.
it.
Yeah. It's something you and I, our counselor, used to say is like, what's the worst that can happen? And we
Right.
have to like understand the worst case scenario, but then actually pull that.
But make sure it's honest.
Pull that into reality.
That's it.
Yeah,
Pull it into reality.
Pull it into reality. And I think that also goes with the words that you say. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's something I used to do. But yeah, so first, so that you don't have the fear to not even do it, pull into reality. What's the worst that could happen? Oh, we could accidentally curse and yell and scream at each other and then slam the door and sleep in separate rooms for the night. That's the worst that could probably happen from this conversation. Well, what that then does for me is then help set the expectation of, well, then I better, as far as it depends on me, not let that happen, not let that get there. That's what I've had to learn for me because of my intensity. Okay, I'm going to want to win the fight, but if I don't fight in fairness, but I only
great.
fight in like
I'm gonna win.
intensity, I will win. Then it has the potential of me being like, oh yeah, fine, slam the door, walk out of the room, not come back, pout, whatever. But if I instead recognize, wait, that's not fair, and I'm going to fight with fairness, then that will help temper the reality of the
great.
worst case scenario. Because yeah, I used to literally only fight to win,
To survive.
to survive. That's probably the better.
But it's because you saw this as a live or die,
Yeah.
which it wasn't.
Yeah, and so because of that, that meant I was willing to like, what is it? Go at the jugular.
Yeah. She's going for the jugular.
Go
She's
for the
going for
jugular.
the kill,
And
whether
so-
she's selling perfume or fighting with her husband.
Yeah. So like I've told the story 100 times of like when I realized, oh, the 4th of July is the day that triggers me, and I like freaked out, and I remember yelling at my husband, "You are not a good leader. You don't lead us well." That is so dumb because I was mad that we didn't have like big plan. I don't even know, but I got
That
to
you
this-
didn't see a fireworks show?
I didn't go to a
Right.
giant fireworks show. Like I had not managed my expectations of the day well at all. In fact, we had talked about it and said, let's have a quiet day at home. But yet I went for this jugular of, he's not a good leader because you're pissed on 4th of July. That's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
But it caused so much pain and damage and like hurt. But it was just because I was trying to win. I was not trying to actually have rock the boat,
Heal.
steer the boat.
Which gave a whole idea of a precursor to everything we just said.
Yes.
So all that we just said is really great. But what goes before any of that? If you did it really bad before, you've got to apologize.
100%.
And then not launch into your immediate conversation.
Correct.
We had a couple in our church years ago that anytime they would get into a fight, the husband would just leave for like 3 days and go stay at a hotel. You remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he would tell me why he would do that. I'll just leave and whatever. If she wants to treat me like that, then I'm not going to be around. I'm just going to go to a hotel for 3 days. Wouldn't call her, wouldn't answer her phone call.
Right.
The kid's sick. He didn't
Turn
answer.
the phone off, all the things.
And I was like, bro, first of all, you need to apologize for that. And you need to promise to her that you're never going to do that again.
Right.
Are you the father of those children?
Right.
If that house burns down, who's saving their lives?
Right.
If someone breaks into your home, if the power goes out, if the toilet overflows, who's taking care of your wife? Sleep in the other room.
Right.
Now, don't do that for,
Right.
but like, and so I think of that
Progressive
extreme,
sanctification.
I think of that extreme
Right.
guy that anytime he would yell, leave, go to hotel, which is asking the wife, who's he with? Creating all of this turmoil and insecurity in the wife. And so like, if you're doing something that's out of line, then you've got to humble up first and apologize. If you've been cursing each other out,
Right.
if you're a boss, I had a pastor that I worked for that sometimes he would get real mad and start throwing stuff around. And so like
Right.
throwing things.
Right.
And so like, I couldn't ever hear anything he said because he
Right.
never apologized for those 5 times
Right.
he was throwing stuff around in a green room of a church.
Right.
And so if you did it really poorly, maybe apologize before you start new tactics.
100%.
Before you come with a list of, we're going to have a pleasant conversation on a date night, but you've been sleeping in a hotel.
Correct.
You got to say you're sorry
level
first.
the like what you said. Worst case scenario.
That's old me.
Reality.
Yeah.
Hey, this used to be the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
This is what I promised the worst case scenario can
Yeah.
be. Like you've got to, for a lot of years, like the even beginnings of new conversations was, hey, I know in the past I haven't handled this right. I really want to handle this conversation right. Like I had to intentionally rebuild the way that I was going to communicate in my home because I knew I had so many times not done it right. And
rebuild.
Even to this day, there's times with even my kids, even as they're grown, or my husband, well, they'll say, well, you said, and I'm like, I think that's what you heard. That's not what I said because I don't talk to you like that anymore. I don't say words like that. I don't say it that way. And like we've had to have a couple of those conversations where we actually like talk to each other who we are today versus who we used to be and just be real about it. And like, sorry, I did mess that up then. I don't want to do that this time. I want to talk to you about it healthily, correctly. And just set some new ground rules is a really like important part of the conversation. Like if you, for Aaron and I, like divorce was like a word we never said to each other. But if that's something you did say to each other, like,
Draw a new boundary.
hey, we will never say that again. We will not, that is not a part of the conversation. Or if you, used to call names, hey, we're not going to call names. So one of the things when in my immaturity was comparison. Well, they do this or they say this or that, and I wish you would do it like that. Hey, we're not going to do that ever again in the conversation. We're not going to bring comparison because that's an unfair. Now, it doesn't mean you can't bring mentorship and leadership. That's not the same thing. But just like, well, so-and-so got to, so I should, that's literally what we say to our moms when we were kids. But I would do that in times in our early marriage when I was just immature and like trying to win again. So I'm pointing at this person, this person, this person. I want to be like that. That's absurd. And so you have to redraw new rules of engagement. What else?
I had something and I lost it.
Oh, well, keep talking, keep thinking.
New rules of engagement. We might have to.
And they go back to the see each other and who you are today.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And so sometimes that demands that we allow the person to walk into the new room.
Yeah.
Like, so if the person comes
Right.
to you and apologizes and says, hey, I did it really wrong. I did it like this. This is how I used to handle it. I'm really sorry. Then you have to, one of the hardest things for me, Rachel grew up in a real traumatic environment. And she healed before I saw her. Mm-hmm. And so one of the hardest things in our relationship was after Rachel was better.
Right.
But I couldn't see that she was. I kept seeing old Rachel on new Rachel. Mm-hmm. And so I've told her sorry for that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But if you keep seeing your old spouse on your new stepping to progressive sanctification, growing, baptized, like living right, there's got to be a point that you draw a line and you see them as the new them, or else you're not going to get over it. We had a couple in the church years ago that I know are still dealing with. They've left the church because it was all too tumultuous with them. That the guy was always in the strip club. They're not believers.
Right.
They're both drunks. He's in a strip club all the time. They come to church. They get saved for years, 5 years, leading. The dude's whole life has changed. But the wife is constantly calling him who he used to be. And you know what? He eventually was like, well, then I'll just go back.
Right.
Because like if you won't let me step into this new
Right.
room for 5 years, then why am I trying
What's the point?
What's the point? Why am I trying so hard?
Especially when you're the one, I'm not the one I'm doing it for, but you're part of the story of like why
I'm trying to be a good man for you,
Yeah.
but you only see me as the old guy.
Yeah.
And so there's a responsibility of
It's really good.
like forgiveness.
Yeah, I think in friendship, that's a huge one as well. Of like, if you and a friend have gone through a rough season, and then now you've like made amends and said, "Hey, we're gonna try this again, or we're gonna be friends again. We're gonna go into a new season together." You have to release like all of that old junk. We have a lot of people in the church who have lived in different lifestyles, different seasons of life, and now as they've come into a relationship with the Lord, they knew each other back in the club.
Yes.
They knew each other back in the day. They knew each other. And that's not the friendship we have anymore. And so you used to talk bad about me behind my back whenever we would fight. That's not who you are anymore. So I'm not going to assume that about you now. I'm going to assume who you are today. And I think that's an important one as you're stepping into conversations. And then we haven't said this one yet, but absolutes in conversation are so damaging.
Yeah.
In
you
both
always,
directions.
You never.
In both directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always, you never, or, oh, I'm sorry, I always, da, da, da. Like either one
Because
of those.
that's a defense mechanism.
That's defense mechanism. Both of those, you never, you always, I can't, like all of these like absolutes, they're just not, they just can't be a part of the conversation. Now, I can feel like you can share your feelings. I feel like right now, I'm the one doing this alone, whatever it is. It is that's still, you're allowed to have the conversation, but declaring it as an absolute, I'm always alone, is not, is just not healthy, and it's not going to get you anywhere. And so, I think that's one that we had to like super identify, and then be allowed to call out in the other one, in my marriage, anyways, for sure, and then in other spaces of my life of like, hey, no, that's an absolute. Like we're not trying to say always like, and you just have to be willing to, point that out.
You know,
What's your next thought?
Something you said made me think. We had a couple in the church years ago that came out of like a really sinful past,
Okay.
and whenever they would go out and drink, they would go and drink so that they could be intimate.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
But then the night went one of two ways.
Right.
Either they would get drunk and then be intimate, or they would get drunk and have horrible fights where they would say horrible things to each other.
Right.
And they kept trying to work on their relationship, but they kept using this social lubrication of alcohol,
Yeah.
and it kept going one of two ways.
Correct.
And it was like they would make all of this progress through the week, but then like every other Friday, they would go and get smashed.
Right.
And then one of them would scream all these horrible things at each other while they're drunk. And words spoken are words spoken.
You can't take them back.
You can't. So like the excuse of like, well, I was high, or I was
Right.
tired,
Yeah.
or I was stressed, or I was drunk. It kind of doesn't count to
not
the
fair,
to the
right?
hearer.
No.
And so in this like rock the boat conversation, if you have a vice that is impairing your cognition, work on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Work on that, because
Well, but also be aware, because in that situation, that likely the vice is the thing that you've been using to manage the boat instead of rock it. And like recognize that if you would just actually rock the boat, deal with what's really happening,
Yeah.
then you won't need that lubrication of your relationship anymore. I think that for friendship, I think that for marriage, like we get in these patterns and habits because we're just not dealing with some of these bigger issues. And it's like, if you'll just go and deal with it. I think another thing, like as friends, like for friends and for marriage, what you're saying is like the vice, the smoothing, whatever, but it's also the like, in that relationship, I remember they'd be like, but they know me. They know me. They know my heart. They should know where I'm coming from.
Right,
They
but they're
should
also
know.
scared.
Right. And I'm like, you can't have the like, oh, they should know me better than that. You have to own how your behavior is happening because of these, vices, situations, defaults, like
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like if you're tired, okay, then shut your mouth. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, they're all reasons of like, if you know that about yourself, like Aaron and I really legitimately have like had to make rules about what time of night I can tell him important things.
Same.
Because he will not remember it. If I tell him something after 10 p.m., I might as well set it to the wall.
That's
He
Rachel.
literally will not remember.
Right.
And then I'll be like, you ready to go to that thing that we're supposed to do that's super important that I told you about at 10:45 the other night?
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
And so like, we used to get in giant fights about it. That like, I told you. And it's like, no, you didn't. You told him in a moment that you were awake and alert, but he wasn't awake and alert. So some of those like, you got to just be aware of, because for them, it was to us, it was so simple.
Yeah.
This vice is literally killing your marriage.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Stop it.
But then for them, it was like the unawareness of like,
And you might be able to argue that biblically it's not that bad.
right, correct,
Or like
cool. It
it's,
doesn't
it's
have to
permissible.
be sin. It's,
Cool. This is
but
this
it's
is
just hindering. Yeah, it's absurd.
okay.
What?
Last thought, unless you have another.
No,
one.
it's good.
Do you know what it takes to rock the boat? You have to just embrace the awkward.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Embrace. It's not fun. Do you know what's more fun? Going on vacation to Hawaii.
Right.
Do you know what I know? You go with you. You go with you. So like what's more fun is for this issue to not be there, but the issue is there. And so you've got to embrace the awkward.
Yeah.
If it's with a staff person, if you're a boss with an employee,
Yeah.
embrace the awkward. Because you know what happens if I have an employee that they're doing something that's driving me nuts? It just drives me nuts. And then I end up losing sleep. And then I get frustrated. And then I get frustrated, and I get mad, and then I only have one option.
Right.
So you've got to just embrace the awkward and say the words.
Well, and we haven't really given a lot of time to that as you're saying that. I'm like, because I'm thinking through, like, you and I have now worked together 10 years, which means 10 years of awkward conversations.
Yeah.
Like 10 years of like
All kinds of stuff.
all kind of things. And I think about how had we not embraced the awkward early on, there's just so much that never would have.
Been able to be a trusting relationship.
Yeah. Or and then it just literally would have crashed into the rock 9 years ago. Like
Yeah.
8 years ago. 7 years. Every year there would have been some giant, and I'm like, how many, as we're talking, I'm like, yes, we spent a lot of time on marriage and like even in the work context, but even in friendship, I just feel like there's so many people where God wants to use your friendships to allow you to flourish into all that God has for you, but yet our unwillingness to be afraid that maybe that'll be the same as the middle school lunch table keeps us from just being able to have simple conversations. And I'm like, before we like say goodbye to it, like,
Oh no, we got
the
lots more
f-
stories.
The
to say.
friendship, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying the friendship piece of it is also really important. This is not just for, because I can see how in marriage and in work, I must have these conversations.
Right.
I have to do this. But how in friendship, it's so easy to dance around it or not do it or just stop being friends, which is what most people do.
And if you dance enough, then distance is created. And if distance is created, then you drift apart.
Right.
And then you're not friends anymore.
Yeah. I just think
And
it's,
like the number of times that we've had to have awkward conversations to rock the boat.
Right.
But if we wouldn't have, then we wouldn't actually be friends. Like forever ago. She's going to remember the details better than I do. But Whitney told me something in confidence that I then told somebody else.
Oh gosh, that's literally been like
forever ago.
15 years ago. Yeah.
And it got back to you
Yeah,
that
I
I
forgot about
said
that. Yeah.
what you told me.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I was in my backyard pacing, and I called you and I said,
Yeah.
hey, I'm sorry. You told me this. You told me not
yeah.
to tell this person. I told them because I kind of got stuck and I didn't know what to do, and I kind of chickened out, and I told them. And so this is going to come back on you, and I'm sorry. And I remember it being like
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah.
Because I could have lied
Right.
and like done a whole big dance, be like, I don't know how they found that out. But I'm like, for me, and then you were gracious to me.
Yeah, of course. I was going to say that
And
was part of it,
because
I
you were
remember.
gracious to me, because I'm willing to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yes.
But you burned me,
Yeah.
and so she didn't burn me.
Right. That's what then gave space and I think safety to moments where we were in another, like a few years later, where some things between us just kind of got, you had told me like, hey, this friendship makes me kind of stressed out, and you don't know that all that's happened with these people, so be careful. And I kind of was like, whatever, like it's not bothering me. There ended up being this tension between us. And I remember just chasing you down the parking lot one day, like, I'm sorry, what's going on? Like, can I talk to you? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want, but had I not known that.
Well, you basically said like, I feel like you and Rachel are pulling away from us.
Yes.
Why are you doing that?
What's going on?
And then I was like, we kind of are.
Yes.
Because
you don't understand.
You don't understand
the depth of what this is. That,
you're
like,
BFF with these people who are really hurting us right
yes,
now.
right. But the only reason I felt, I think, probably that I was probably not even aware of then, but as we're talking about it, able to do that was because you had already done that before. Like,
Right.
hey. And it was like, oh, we're allowed to just like be real people and not just go, well, I don't know what happened with
Yeah.
the Babbas. We used to be friends with them. And then something weird happened and we drifted apart. And I think that happens so often
Right.
to people because of the fear of,
And it always happens.
yeah.
We're not 10 years friends, bulletproof.
Oh, no, right.
Right now, Aaron and Whitney's kids are grown, and Rachel and I still have kids at home.
Yeah.
And so we're in different seasons of life. And so the awkward conversations that we have to have of like, wait, we're still friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still friends. Okay. So just because you're taking your older kids out to dinner and we're not going doesn't mean that we're not friends. No. And just because we're going out with people who have kids our age doesn't mean that we've replaced y'all with them. No.
Right.
It just, we're still a unit, but we're in kind of with our kids in different seasons of life. But if we don't have those conversations,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
what happens is Rach and I feel like, oh, they've replaced us.
Right.
And what Aaron Whitney feels like, oh, they've replaced us. It's like, no, we haven't
And that's
replaced
not
y'all.
petty. Like,
No.
it's not stupid or petty or immature to just say the
'Cause-
words. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think that, like, some people think, like, it's not high school. What are you talking about? And I'm like, no, correct. It's not high school. So because of it, we're going to be intentional to find the opportunity to say extra words sometimes, even if you feel like they're not necessary, so that you bring clarity, if that makes sense.
Like Easton is married to Brady.
Correct.
Brady's great. Easton's great. And so if Aaron and Whitney are going to go to dinner with their kids, they're going to go to some fancy place in Dallas that they can dress up nice and go to dinner.
Yes, sometimes, yes.
Titus wants chicken fingers
Right.
and a ball pit.
Correct.
And so like the world, if they don't have like go-karts and a play place,
Yeah, what are you doing, Dad?
my kids don't want to go there for 4 hours.
Right. What are you doing?
And so, but if we don't have those
Yeah,
words, then we can start to feel like, oh, maybe we're just
Right.
naturally drifting apart. But see how the reason we can have this talk is because we've already had
Right.
this talk.
Right.
And then we can realize like, oh, you know what? I am now busier in my life and my leadership. Aaron's taking on more responsibility. Aaron's busier in the weight that he's carrying. And so where we used to just hang out every night, we now have to be more intentional.
Right. Right.
Like as dudes to go get breakfast or try the new pizza spot downtown,
Yeah.
but without
Conversation.
conversation and it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward because like, hey, are we good? Are we,
Right.
are we like, you're not mad at me. Are you mad at me? No, I'm not mad at you,
Yeah.
but like, it feels like there's some distance. And man, I watch this with adults in our church. That just some time goes by and then like a new friend comes into the group and there's all this like awkward, just talk about it, man. But if you're not humble, it's going to explode.
Right. No, it's true.
If you're not humble, it's gonna
and
explode.
just the willingness to check in or to like what you said before, like scheduling a fight, scheduling time, scheduling like and even just being like, hey, haven't talked to you in a minute, just want to say hi. I think that like we get so worked up in our like own selves is really what it is. Our own insecurities and our own whatever that we're like, do they want to hear from me? Does this friend want to even know? Do they want to even? And it's like, just send the text. Just send the text.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just try. Just shake it. Just, hey, love you.
Yeah.
Like just anything.
Yeah.
If you are scared or unsure. And I think for some people, like, they're like, okay, cool. Y'all have been friends a long time and you've said the words that you're committing to be friends for a long time. But what if you haven't, but they're a friend that you're like wanting to do that with, but you don't know how they're going to respond. And I'm like, you just do the like, hey, I really appreciate you. And
you lead with honor.
And I think that allows, if they're like, oh, okay, cool, that's great, then maybe
They're not your person.
But if you're like, yeah, no, thanks, I appreciate you too, then you hear, I don't know, that's what I was thinking as I was hearing
because
it.
there's like when Aaron's brother passed and I hugged him, and when city council voted me down and Aaron hugged me, those moments bought us 5 years of friendship.
Right, 100%.
But both of those moments are more than 5 years ago now.
Right.
And so,
Right. No, it's really good.
like, just realizing that, oh, wow, that moment that I felt so loved and protected by Aaron that he would fight. Aaron went and fought city council in a closed office meeting, said a bunch of words to have my back. That was how many years ago now?
Yeah.
5 years.
Right about, I don't know. Yes.
And so like the luster of that just over
Right.
time can start to wear off. But the thankfulness, dude, I love you. Thank you. You mean so much. We were talking this week, Whitney and I were brainstorming something, and I said in the middle of it,
That's what I was thinking of, though. I was thinking of how just those small moments sometimes when we're in a conversation, we're like, hey, thank you. Like,
this is why I value you.
It just matters to those who feel like, how do y'all do that? How do y'all, which is probably a bigger conversation, but I just think like, yeah, we never really talked about that before, but like, how do you do it? And it's not weird and it's not lame. But yet it's important to, because as I'm thinking about marriage too, like you and Rachel didn't just have that conversation at your anniversary dinner.
No.
And then be like, okay, good job.
Yeah, good job. Back to business as usual.
You had to then go, hey, I know you. So I know that the next day when you were at that antique place walking around, there was a moment when you said, hey, thank you for talking with me last night.
Thank you. I feel
Thank you very much
close.
I know you did.
Well, and
so
last night I got home and Rachel cleaned the whole kitchen. I put on that song, Who's That Girl?
Right.
And I'm dancing around. Rachel killed it. Look at this kitchen. I'm speaking
Correct.
life.
Correct.
Instead of just,
that's what I'm thinking.
let's fix this.
Like, because it's not just that we have all these hash out conversations. We also just have these like, hey, thanks for, I literally almost sent you a text yesterday and said, and I should have, I failed, guys. But I almost said just like, thanks for
There's
talking
always
to me.
today.
Because we've been in a busy, the last few weeks have been real busy. And almost just said like, hey, thanks for sitting and talking with me. That was really helpful. Just like, that was just good for my heart. Like, but like, you just got to do that when you rock the boat. That's like the next iteration of it. After
rock
you
it
rock
and
the
steady
boat
it.
and then steady it back. Like,
or paddle or
whatever.
put momentum back in or something.
No, something. I don't know the right boat analogy, but like after you've had those, you have to then infiltrate. It's not just a love sandwich in this one conversation. It's like later then there has to be these like moments where you say, and like I know like what we were talking about with when you've done it wrong before and then you see someone new now, speaking to who you see now is so important. Hey, I see that in you. I see who you are. I see the growth you're making. I think some of those pieces after you've rocked the boat is such an important piece, whether it's friendship, in your jobs, like with the team that you have. This last season has been very much intentionality of celebrating like, hey, thank you, team, for being the best team that we have. Like, we're so grateful for your hearts. Thank
Yeah.
you for making it through this like rough, this chaotic winds of change that we've had over the last few years. Y'all are killing it. Just speaking life into it. Yeah, it's really good.
I post funny stuff about our home life all the time.
Yes, correct.
Rachel and I. And so the other day I made a post. Rachel's having an attitude around the house. Not like we were in a fight. She was just, I joke and I tell her sometimes she turns into a dinosaur. Like,
Yeah, I saw your post. I didn't know
yeah,
what it
she
really
goes,
meant
she
all the
gets,
way.
so it's an inside joke with us a
Oh,
little
okay,
bit like,
yeah.
hey, you and like, you good? You kind of dinosaur-y right now. And so I put one of our wedding photos into chat and said, turn Rachel into a velociraptor. And then I just posted it.
Yes.
And I was like, sometimes she be acting like
Yes.
this. The number of guys, whenever I make a post like that get in my DMs and are like, dude, my wife would kill me if I did that. And it's because you're not rocking the boat.
Good or bad.
I affirm her so much.
Right.
And we're able to communicate it so much that I can say, baby, why are you acting like a dinosaur? And she can tell me, hey, relax.
Right.
Hey, pastor. We literally all the time, Rachel will reach over and slap me in my forehead because I'm furrowing my brow too intense.
Right.
And her doing that is a communication thing between us that because we're so honest, we're allowed to joke about our defaults.
But it's because you rocked the boat and survived it and got to the other side of
Mm-hmm.
it to thrive it. I think that is the. I'm serious.
I posted a video just the other day. She brought one of the chickens in the house.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I'm zooming in on her, and then I zoom over into the
Into
sink,
the kitchen sink.
full of.
I
and-
literally like, bro.
And a dozen guys are like sending me DMs like,
Yes.
I can't believe you zoomed down in the sink full of it. But like, I'm not dogging her. Part of
Right.
that too is I want people to know I'm trying to kill famous pastor culture.
Yeah.
And just be a person.
But
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's just so good. I'm just saying like so if you're afraid to rock the boat,
Yeah.
the fruit, the wind, the whatever is the dinosaur. Like the
Yeah.
dinosaur picture is what you're missing.
You're missing because we can laugh about it.
You're so afraid. I know so many people, marriage, friendship, job, everything, so afraid to rock the boat because what if it all blows up? Okay, cool. What if it does? It's not going to. You can survive it. And then what if instead on the other side of it is everything you were hoping for, everything you were wishing for, everything? Because the truth is 7 years ago,
True.
you ain't posting her being a dinosaur.
No.
Should
Should have bit my
your
head off. Right.
But now, yes, now you can post her in nine weird blankets that she's wearing. It's going to
And
to the
she
chickens.
can make a video of me sitting at the table eating
Right.
cake balls, and I'm not gonna
and go, why is this guy eating 9 cake balls right now, y'all? Help
and
him out.
I'm
or
gonna go,
whatever.
oh, she caught me,
Yes.
instead of emotionally lose my mind.
Right. And
But
so
what you just said is so great that if you'll rock the boat, you don't know the beauty on the other
you
side.
don't. And I think
'Cause
that's
God's
the
with
part-
you.
Exactly.
He's with you.
Well, and the more, I think that's, we get teased all the time for the moreness, like,
Yeah.
more, there's more. Yeah, there is. And like, that's
Yeah.
the part of like, the moreness is so important. It's so valuable that we miss it because we're just terrified to do this one little thing, shake this one little tree branch, do this one little change that might, but like, what if you're actually living your best life on the other side of it if you would do it? And chances are you will. You'll live in your best life.
I could literate this and make it really good, but like, more is possible if you'll rock the boat.
Right.
We could literate that and make it a
Yeah.
bunch of M's and a bunch of buzzy words. But if you're willing to do it,
Yeah.
the more's coming.
Yeah.
But if you're just living in good enough, or in like don't cause any tension, then you're just in survival.
Yeah. So if you're a tug teamer or a more churcher or whatever, and someone else listens to this and decides to rock the boat, like start rocking with them. I think is the other piece.
Lean with it, rock.
Yeah, I
with
knew
it.
I
Lean
knew you were
with
gonna
it,
have a
rock
rap.
with
I
it.
don't know it, but like that. Just like don't fight the rock. Like go with it and like allow it to go because maybe.
I'm glad we're talking about this.
Thank God that you
That kind of hurts my feelings, but I think that you're right.
Right. Exactly.
Like, make it
Instead of
easy.
like punching them back and whatever, like be like, oh, I think they're doing the thing. I think they're doing the thing that we've
Yeah.
been talking about, and like go with it and see what happens, and then start setting some set your ground rules. Figure out where you're going to do it. If you need to rock the boat, figure out where, when, how, what you're going to say, what posture you're going to live in.
You're also allowed to talk to somebody has a little bit of wisdom of how you should rock the boat.
Yeah.
Because there's been a couple times that I've needed to have a conversation with Rachel that I talked to Whit first because I didn't have any sisters
Right.
growing up. I don't know what the junk I'm doing.
Right.
And so I'm like, hey, I want to say this thing about what do I say here?
No,
You know
that's
what I mean?
really good.
Because like here's what I want to say, and then she's like, don't
Don't say that.
don't say that. And
Say
I'm
it like this.
Oh, okay.
But no, I think that's really, yeah. Or if you've been in your marriage has been like, find somebody else whose marriage has survived it and you're watching them like, oh, how did y'all make it through that? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's we just had a couple this week who went to dinner with another couple, and like being able to just share their story is like, oh, we all can make it. We all can get there. And like, it's such a beautiful thing. And so rock the boat. Don't be afraid.
It's great. Guys, keep tomming around town.
That's right.
Take them photos, snap them pictures. If you're going on a vacation, if you're on spring break right now listening to some Tom, post
Yeah.
it and we'll
Oh.
send you a free hat.
I don't know if you
Next, we're going to do shirts.
I don't know if
after
he
we're out
gets
of
to
these
win,
hats.
but I took a picture of our guy Kyle last week. Were you out there? No, I think it was Easton and Tyler.
Bunchy Poo?
He came up to say hey and was on his way from one client to another. And I walked out there and he was like, oh, look, you caught me. I'm tomming around town. And I took his picture. And so I took the picture. I didn't post it. But he
Yeah.
was listening to one of the episodes. So
Team
see?
Jacob out there.
Everyone asked Kyle why he's Team Jacob.
He's Team
This is
Jacob.
what you need to ask him. Please do this for us. It'll be my greatest excitement. Just ask him, hey, I heard you're Team Jacob. How come?
Yeah, it's great.
And see what he says.
All right. Love you guys.
Love
See
y'all.
ya. Bye.
Bye.